Have you ever wondered who will truly be there for you when you enter your 60s and beyond? When we're younger, the answer seems obvious. Your family, your closest friends, the people who've been in your life for decades. But as the years pass, a different reality often emerges. Life has a way of changing. People get busy, priorities shift, and that support system you always counted on might not be as dependable as you once believed. This isn't about pointing fingers or placing blame. It's about facing a truth that many seniors discover too late. In this video, we're going to explore 6 essential pillars that often prove more reliable than family as you navigate your golden years. Understanding these pillars isn't about pushing loved ones away, it's about building a foundation of security so you're never left vulnerable when support matters most. By the end of this video, you'll understand where true stability comes from in your later years, and you'll never again feel powerless, alone, or unprepared for life's challenges. These insights might completely transform how you think about support after 60. So let's begin this journey together and discover what really sustains us when we need it most. Pillar 1: Your financial independence. The most dependable support you'll ever have isn't a person, it's your financial independence. This truth becomes increasingly evident as you move through your 60s and beyond. We often hear that money can't buy happiness, but what it does purchase is something equally valuable: options, dignity, and peace of mind. When you have financial stability, you're not forced to depend on others for your basic needs or comfort. Consider the story of Elizabeth, a 75-year-old whose retirement savings were carefully built over decades. When her adult children faced their own financial crises, a job loss and a costly divorce, they simply couldn't help when Elizabeth needed a new roof and major dental work. It wasn't about love, it was about reality. Your children and family members have their own financial responsibilities, mortgages, education costs for their children, their own retirement planning. Even with the best intentions, they may not have the resources to support you when unexpected expenses arise. Many seniors discover this truth the hard way. They assume family will step in during financial emergencies, only to find their loved ones struggling with their own monetary challenges. It's not selfishness, it's simply the economic reality of today's world where multiple generations face financial pressures simultaneously. Financial independence means having enough savings to cover emergencies, a reliable income stream, and a clear understanding of your expenses. It means knowing exactly what you have and what you need, so you're never forced to choose between dignity and necessity. If you're approaching or already in your 60s, now is the time to honestly assess your financial picture. Do you have adequate savings? Is your income secure? Have you minimized debt that could leave you vulnerable? These aren't just financial questions, they're about securing your independence when it matters most. Because the truth is, while family may want to help, your financial stability is ultimately the foundation that will never abandon you, never become too busy, and never have competing priorities. It stands firm when other supports may waver. Pillar 2: Your physical well-being. There's a saying that becomes increasingly true after 60: your health is your wealth. No matter how loving your family is, they cannot exercise for you, eat nutritious foods for you, or manage your medications for you. Your physical well-being becomes either your greatest asset or your most limiting factor as you age, and it's one area where self-reliance isn't just important, it's essential. Meet David, a 69-year-old who spent decades putting everyone else first, working long hours, skipping checkups, and neglecting exercise, because there would be time for that later. When later arrived, he found himself dealing with multiple chronic conditions that severely limited his mobility and independence. His children loved him deeply, but they lived in different states with demanding careers and families of their own. They couldn't be there daily to help with the simplest tasks that David could no longer manage alone. Despite their love, their support had natural limitations. The reality many seniors face is this: family support often can't compensate for declining health. While loved ones may want to help, they typically can't provide round-the-clock assistance or manage the daily challenges that come with health issues. Even more importantly, depending on others for basic physical needs often leads to feelings of helplessness and loss of dignity, emotions no one wants to experience in their golden years. That's why investing in your health now, regardless of your current age, is one of the smartest decisions you can make. This isn't about pursuing perfect health or impossible fitness standards. It's about making consistent choices that maintain your strength, mobility, and energy for as long as possible. Regular movement that you enjoy, whether it's walking, swimming, gardening, or gentle yoga. Nutritious foods that support your body rather than harm it. Preventive medical care rather than crisis management. Adequate sleep and stress management. These aren't luxuries, they're necessities for maintaining independence. Your physical health is the foundation that allows you to live on your terms. It's what enables you to travel if you wish, to pursue hobbies, to handle daily tasks without assistance, and to remain in your own home if that's your preference. The time to prioritize your health isn't someday, it's today. Because the stronger and more capable your body remains, the less you'll need to rely on others, no matter how well-intentioned they may be. If you're still watching and finding value in these insights, please type 2 inches in the comments below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, consider doing so and turning on notifications so you don't miss our future videos about thriving in your senior years. Pillar 3, your social network. One of the most underestimated resources as we age is a diverse, active social network that extends beyond family. Many people make the mistake of letting their social circles shrink as they get older, assuming that family relationships will fulfill all their social needs. But here's the reality: your children and immediate family members, no matter how loving, cannot be your entire social world. They have their own lives, responsibilities, and time constraints that naturally limit how much companionship they can provide. This is where a robust social network becomes invaluable. Friends, neighbors, activity groups, and community connections create a web of support that's often more reliable and consistent than depending solely on family. Consider Martha's story. At 67, she found herself widowed after 42 years of marriage. Her 2 daughters lived across the country and called regularly, but Martha still faced long, lonely days. Rather than waiting for family visits, she made a conscious decision to rebuild her social life. She joined a walking group, volunteered at the local library, reconnected with old friends, and even tried a painting class she'd always been curious about. Within months, her calendar filled with meaningful interactions. She had people to share meals with, discuss books with, and simply enjoy life alongside. When one friend wasn't available, another often was. What Martha discovered was something many seniors eventually learn: a diversified social network provides consistent connection that family alone often cannot. When your social engagement comes from multiple sources, you're not left waiting for the phone to ring or feeling like a burden when you simply need companionship. Research consistently shows that social connection isn't just about avoiding loneliness, it's a critical factor in cognitive health, emotional well-being, and even longevity. People with strong social ties tend to live longer, experience less cognitive decline, and report greater life satisfaction. Building this network doesn't happen automatically. It requires intention and sometimes stepping outside your comfort zone. It might mean joining a club related to your interests, attending community events, reaching out to old friends you've lost touch with, or even exploring digital platforms that connect seniors with similar interests. The ideal time to strengthen these connections isn't when you're already feeling isolated, it's now while you're still active and engaged. Because when you have a rich tapestry of relationships beyond family, you'll never need to depend on any single person for your sense of connection and belonging. This isn't about replacing family relationships, it's about complementing them with a broader community that enhances your life and provides reliable social engagement, regardless of your family's availability. Pillar 4, your sense of purpose. Perhaps one of the most powerful yet overlooked sources of support after 60 is having a clear sense of purpose, something that gets you out of bed in the morning and makes each day meaningful. Many people reach retirement age and suddenly find themselves adrift. The roles that defined them for decades, career, parenting, caregiving, may diminish or disappear entirely. Without something meaningful to replace these roles, a sense of emptiness can develop, one that family love alone cannot fill. Your children and other family members can provide joy and connection, but they cannot give you purpose. That's something each person must discover for themselves. Take Robert, for example. After a 40-year career in education, he retired at 65, looking forward to relaxation. 6 months later, he found himself restless and increasingly dependent on visits from his busy adult children for any sense of meaning. When they couldn't visit, he felt purposeless. Everything changed when Robert started mentoring struggling students at a local community center. Suddenly he had somewhere to be, people who counted on his wisdom, and a reason to keep learning and growing. His family noticed the difference immediately. He no longer seemed to need their visits to feel fulfilled. He had stories to share, challenges to overcome, and a renewed sense of vitality. Purpose doesn't have to be grand or world-changing. It might be volunteering, pursuing a creative passion, mentoring others, learning new skills, or even caring for a pet. What matters is that it gives you a reason to engage with life, rather than just observing it. Having purpose creates a positive cycle of well-being. It keeps your mind active, provides social connections, gives structure to your days, and offers a sense of contribution and value that boosts self-esteem. These benefits extend far beyond what even the most loving family can provide. Perhaps most importantly, purpose creates resilience. When you have meaningful engagement in your life, you're better equipped to handle life's inevitable challenges, including times when family support might be limited. If you're entering or already in your 60s and beyond, asking yourself what truly matters to you isn't selfish, it's essential. What activities make you lose track of time? What issues do you care deeply about? What skills or wisdom could you share with others? The answers to these questions can guide you toward purpose that sustains you. Family relationships are precious, but they shouldn't be your only source of meaning. When you have purpose beyond family roles, you gain independence that allows those relationships to thrive from a place of choice rather than necessity. If these insights are resonating with you, please type 4 inches in the comments below to let me know you're still with me. Your engagement helps us create more content that addresses the real challenges of aging well. Pillar 5, your emotional resilience. Life after 60 brings its own set of challenges. Friends move away or pass on, health concerns arise, retirement may bring financial adjustments, family dynamics shift as children build their own lives. Through it all, one resource becomes increasingly valuable: your emotional resilience. Emotional resilience is your internal capacity to adapt to change, recover from setbacks, and maintain equilibrium during difficult times. It's the ability to bend without breaking, to process emotions in healthy ways, and to find peace even when circumstances aren't ideal. Many people make the mistake of relying exclusively on family for emotional support, assuming their children or siblings will always be available to listen, comfort, and guide them through difficult moments. But the reality is that your loved ones, despite their best intentions, have their own emotional challenges to navigate. Consider Janet's experience. At 73, she lost her husband of 48 years and naturally turned to her children for emotional support. While they provided what comfort they could, they were also processing their own grief and balancing demanding careers and families. Janet realized that depending solely on them for emotional well-being wasn't sustainable, for her or for them. That's when Janet began developing her own emotional resources. She joined a grief support group, started journaling, practiced mindfulness meditation, and learned to sit with difficult feelings without immediately seeking external comfort. Over time, she built emotional muscles that allowed her to process loss and find moments of joy independently. Building emotional resilience isn't about facing challenges alone, it's about developing internal resources that complement external support. It's about having tools and practices that help you maintain balance, regardless of who is or isn't available at any given moment. These tools might include regular reflection practices like journaling or meditation, stress management techniques that work for your lifestyle, the ability to name and process emotions rather than suppressing them, healthy boundaries that protect your well-being, perspective-taking skills that help you see beyond immediate challenges, gratitude practices that highlight what's going well even during difficult times. When you cultivate emotional resilience, you become less dependent on others for your sense of stability. You can appreciate family support when it's available without feeling abandoned when it isn't. You develop confidence in your ability to weather life's storms, which creates a sense of security that no external relationship can provide. This isn't about becoming emotionally self-sufficient. Humans are wired for connection. Rather, it's about developing a balanced approach where you have both internal resources and external connections, creating a more reliable emotional foundation than either could provide alone. Your emotional resilience becomes a quiet strength that serves you daily, helping you navigate both major life transitions and everyday stresses with greater ease and dignity. Pillar 6. Your adaptability. The final pillar that often proves more reliable than family support is perhaps the most powerful: your willingness to adapt and embrace change. Life after 60 rarely unfolds exactly as planned. Technologies evolve, neighborhoods transform, health needs change, and family circumstances shift in ways we couldn't anticipate. Those who thrive in their golden years aren't necessarily those with the most resources or strongest family ties. They're often those who remain flexible and open to new ways of living. Consider Thomas, who at 81 found himself living alone after his wife passed away. His children wanted him to move closer to them, but he preferred staying in his community of 40 years. Rather than digging in his heels or reluctantly relocating, Thomas adapted his approach to independent living. He learned to use video calling to stay connected with distant family. He rearranged his home to accommodate mobility changes. He embraced grocery delivery services and transportation options that hadn't existed when he was younger. He formed new friendships with neighbors of various ages. Through adaptability, he created a life that honored both his desire for independence and his changing circumstances. Adaptability means acknowledging that what worked at 60 might need adjustment at 70 or 80. It means being willing to learn new technologies that can enhance independence, modify your home environment as needs change, explore new ways of socializing when old patterns no longer work, adjust expectations without giving up on what matters most, consider alternative approaches when familiar paths become challenging. This willingness to adapt becomes particularly important when family support has natural limitations. Your children may have the best intentions, but their ability to help might be constrained by distance, their own family responsibilities, or financial realities. When you can adapt and find creative solutions to challenges, you remain empowered rather than dependent. Adaptability also keeps your world expanding rather than contracting. Instead of saying "I've always done it this way," the adaptable person asks, "What's another way this could work?" This mindset opens doors to new possibilities, relationships, and experiences, even as certain options may become less accessible. Perhaps most importantly, adaptability preserves your dignity. There's a profound difference between reluctantly accepting help because you see no alternatives and strategically adapting your approach to maintain independence. The former often leads to resentment, the latter to empowerment. If you're finding value in these insights, please type 6 inches in the comments below to let me know these ideas are resonating with you. Your feedback helps us create content that truly serves your needs during this important life stage. Final thoughts as we wrap up our exploration of these 6 pillars: financial independence, physical well-being, social networks, sense of purpose, emotional resilience, and adaptability. It's important to understand what this conversation is really about. This isn't about diminishing the importance of family relationships. Those bonds remain precious and irreplaceable. Rather, it's about recognizing that even the most loving family has limitations in what they can provide, especially as you navigate your 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond.
Building these 6 pillars isn't about isolation, it's about interdependence, rather than dependence. It's about creating a foundation solid enough that you can enjoy family relationships from a place of choice, rather than necessity. When you have financial stability, you can spend time with family because you want to, not because you need financial help. When you maintain your health, you can participate fully in family gatherings, rather than requiring constant assistance. When you have diverse social connections, you don't place the entire burden of your social needs on busy family members. With purpose that extends beyond family roles, you bring richer experiences and perspectives to those relationships. Emotional resilience allows you to process life's challenges without overwhelming your loved ones, and adaptability helps you navigate changing family dynamics with grace rather than resistance. Together, these pillars create something invaluable: peace of mind. The confidence that comes from knowing you have multiple sources of support means you never have to face that terrible feeling of having nowhere to turn when challenges arise. So as you move forward, consider which of these pillars might need strengthening in your life. Which ones have you already built successfully? Where might you be overly dependent on family support that could have natural limitations? Small steps taken today: a financial review, a new exercise routine, joining a community group, exploring a potential purpose, developing emotional practices, or embracing a more adaptable, can create tremendous security and fulfillment in the years ahead. Because ultimately, the most reliable foundation for your golden years isn't any single relationship or resource, it's the interconnected system of support you thoughtfully build for yourself. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear your thoughts on these pillars and how you're building them in your own life. Please leave a comment below, sharing one insight that resonated with you and how you plan to apply it. Your experiences might inspire others facing similar journeys. If you found value in this video, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing it with someone who might benefit from these perspectives. Your support helps us continue creating content that addresses the real challenges and opportunities of aging well. Until next time, remember that building these pillars isn't just about self-reliance, it's about creating the freedom to live your later years with dignity, purpose, and joy.